Welcome to my channel, and I'm back with you once again with another video of Microsoft Flight Simulator 24. In the series of videos that I'm doing for the iniBuilds Airbus A350, this is going to be another one in which I will show you how to start this plane from the cold and dark state. Before this, I've uploaded videos in which I've shown you how to carry out the maintenance of this plane and how to configure the EFB and the FMS. I will also be uploading videos in which I will show you how to perform takeoff and how to fly this plane on autopilot and how to perform an ILS approach and landing. This is a very nice study level plane and it's got many functionalities, so that's why I'm just trying to break down all the information into different videos which will make it easy for you to look for a specific information on my channel. Today I will be doing this short flight from Riyadh to Qatar and the plane is ready for the flight. But before you start this plane from the cold and dark state, just make sure that the thrust levers are in the idle position, the flaps are retracted and the ground spoilers are also disarmed. The gear lever is down and the wipers are off. Now, I will not cover the flight planning part in this video and I will not go into the details of the EFB configuration and the FMS configuration because I've already covered, and I will give you the link in the description. You can just go and follow that if you're not really familiar with that process. So before we start, just press Shift 4 and press Shift S to go back. Over here you'll see this knob. Just turn this knob to check the voltage of the batteries. It should be minimum 25.5. So if I press Shift 4 again, I will be back. So the batteries have the power, so I can just move this knob over here to off. And now it's time to turn on the batteries. You will see these 4 buttons for the batteries. So just to explain it to you, a plane has got different sources of power. Obviously batteries are there, but once the plane is on the ground and is at the parking, it gets power from the external source. Or you can also call it the GPU, which is the ground power unit. And once the plane is ready for the flight and starts the pushback, it turns on the APU, which is the auxiliary power unit, which is over here. And after the pushback, the engines start. And then the power is generated by the engines. And you turn off the APU. So this is the procedure if you're not really familiar with it. So let's turn on the batteries, and first of all turn on external 2, power 2 and external power 1. And now you will see the plane has the power, all the screens are working. This is the electronic flight bag or the EFB, and this is the screen where you will see the primary flight display and the navigation display, and this is the multifunction display. You will see the FMS over here. Now the displays are up and you can see nothing is shown over here except for the lines. No other information is being shown because you don't have the iris alignment, which is inertial reference system. You have to turn it on. So if you go over here on the overhead panel, you will see these 3 knobs, and you can see this label ADIRS, which is Air Data Inertial Reference System. This system actually provides the GPS coordinates to the flight management guidance system, and it has to be set to nav. So 1, 3 and 2, just set it to nav and your plane will have the GPS coordinates, and now you will see the PFD and navigation display showing some information. You can set the time for this iris alignment from the EFB, and if you go to the options, you will see over here in iris align time, you can set it to instant, fast and real. If you set it to real, it will take 6 to 7 minutes. That's it. So starting this plane is not that difficult. It's really easy to do it. So once you'll watch this video, you will be able to do it in just no time. So it's now time to do some ground services and get the flight plan. If you go to the EFB, you will see this option ground. Now you can also connect the air conditioning unit. This is a very interesting feature over here. If I turn on conditioning, you will see that it's a bit hot over here in the cockpit. So you can connect the ACU, and that's it. And the temperature will start to drop. So this is a very interesting feature of this plane, and I really like it. Okay. Now you can also connect the jetway, and you can get the luggage and the catering. Now you can see that ground services are being carried out, and the jetway is getting connected. That's it. So now it's time to get the flight plan. I have already made the flight plan in the sim brief. I have this, if I press tab, let me just show you from here. I have this sim brief dispatch system in the EFB of the Microsoft Flight Simulator. There is a process to install it. I will also give you this link in the description, and you can just go and follow it if you don't know how to do it. So I've already made the flight plan, and now I can import the sim brief flight plan. But don't go to this option. If you want to make a flight plan from the start, then you can use this interface. Otherwise, leave this part and just go to the second option, and from here you can import the flight plan. Now it's from Riyadh to Qatar, and now if you go to this option load sheet, you can get the weight and the fuel from sim brief flight plan, and you can set the zero fuel weight. This is actually the weight of the passengers and the cargo. That's it. You can see the details over here, and for the passengers and for the cargo, and the fuel is 18 tons or 18,115 kilograms. So you can select realistic refueling or instant refuel. So I'm selecting instant refuel. And now if you see that the fuel is there, 18.1 tons, and that's it. So you have the correct amount of fuel in the plane. Now let's quickly configure the FMS, because we need it for the flight. So over here, go to this option initialization, and you can just like start the initialization. Actually, there are many other things that you can do. I'm just only trying to stick to the basics, which will make your life really easy. You can do a flight, and then afterwards we can explore other stuff as well once we know how to start this plane and configure the EFB and the FMS. So let's insert the flight plan. And now you can see the cruising altitude is there. Mode is economy. If you're going long range, then you can also select LRC, in which cost index is not required, and the plane will burn less fuel, but its range will increase. So I'm just right now keeping it at economy, and the cost index is 200, burning lots of fuel, but the plane will be going at a higher speed. This is automatically selected by SimBrief. Now let's configure the FMS as per this sequence. So for departure, let's check the runway. If you go to the operational flight plan, and if you go to this option routing, you will see it's 33 right. I'll type 1D. So 33 right. I'll type 1D. And temporary flight plan, insert temporary flight plan, and for OTHH, it's runway 16 left, Haya 1P. So 16 left, and via. That's it. And let's insert and temporary insert. Actually, I've covered this part in the video in which I've shown you how to configure the EFB and the FMS of this plane. So everything is being discussed in detail over there. But obviously, for the takeoff video, and which is going to be the second one, and for the ILS approach and landing, then I will also consult the set and the star, and I will also give you a few details over there. But right now, the focus is just to start this plane from the cold and dark state. So now let's delete this manual flight plan, because if you want to delete the discontinuity, you won't be able to do it. So you have to delete manual first and then discontinuity. If you're flying any of the Airbus planes, this is what you have to do. Again, it's there. Let's delete it. Temporary insert, and that's it. Let's check the flight plan if it's correct. And it is. The approach is correct, because there's always a discontinuity as this approach is flown using the vectors or the heading given by the ATC. Now it's time for the fuel and for the load. As the fueling is now complete and there are passengers in the plane, you can also turn on the seatbelt signs. As you can see, these seatbelt signs are over here. So let's turn it on. You can also set it to auto, but for this video, I will just turn it on. A no smoking sign, and just set it to auto. No mobile, just set it to auto, and just arm the emergency exit lights, and that's it. Now let's enter the zero fuel weight and zero fuel weight center of gravity and block fuel. It's really easy. Just click over here on this box and press enter, enter, and enter, and that's it. And passengers 367. If you go to the load sheet, you will see 369. Okay, so I will enter 369 over here. That's it. Oh, close, and let's go to the initialization page again, and let's set the takeoff performance. So for takeoff performance, you have this tab. Just sync FMS and sync the weather and compute and send to FMS. That's it. Now you can confirm the takeoff speeds. Flex to temp is there, and this is the setting for the trimmable horizontal stabilizer, whether to pitch up or down and how much to pitch up and down during the takeoff. So this is determined by the gross weight center of gravity, not the zero fuel weight center of gravity. So this is 30.8%. Packs will be on, anti-ice will be off, as I'm not flying in the icing conditions. Transition altitude is 13,000 feet, and that's it. So the FMS is now properly configured. Now let's set the barometric pressure for this flight. Adjust the altimeter. So if you don't want to move the knobs, it's really simple to do in Microsoft Flight Simulator 24. Just press COM on your keyboard and you will get the reading for the barometric pressure, which is 1004. Cruising altitude is 29,000 feet. So let's adjust the altitude over here as well. 29,000 feet. That's it. Now in this plane, you have the checklist, which you can get on this screen. If you go to this option, checklist, actually I keep the flight plan over here and checklist on this side. Otherwise, you can also get the checklist over here. That's it. So first of all, let's check the cockpit preparation, gear pins and covers. Covers have been removed. I did it. And the gear pins, you can see they're over here. So let me just show you. So there should be 5 pins, and they're removed. They're actually used for the maintenance, but before the flight, you just make sure that you have removed the pins. Okay, and if I press shift space, I'll just go back to this view. So this is really something I discovered about this plane. You can see the gear pins. The fuel quantity is there, so you can just check it. I've turned on the seatbelt signs and baroref. I have set the altimeter. Now let's go back to checklist and before the start. So you have to release the parking brakes. Obviously, I will be going for this pushback, so I have to release the parking brakes and rest of the things. Takeoff speed has been inserted. Slides are armed. Now, rest of the things, let's do it. So first of all, just go over here on the overhead panel and just make sure that the oxygen supply for the crew is on. That's it. If I turn off this option, you will see that the oxygen pressure is there. So you can just turn on the crew supply and you will see the error has disappeared. That's it. Now these are the controls for the fuel pumps. So left, center and right. Let's turn on the fuel pumps, and that's it. Now for this flight, you need beacon. So let's turn on the beacon. It's actually a red blinking light on the top and on the bottom of the plane. If you can see right now. It's actually very bright. What if I change the time? Yeah, now you can see this red light is blinking. It actually indicates the ground crew that you're going to start the engines. That's it. Let's change the time to 8 in the morning. Actually, right now it's evening, so that's why I have used not use their lifetime. Okay, so nav light is also on, and nav lights are actually on the wingtips. If I again change the time, and let me give you an idea. Now you can see this is a green light. So if any plane sees a green light, especially in the night, it knows that this plane is going towards its right side. And if some plane sees the red light, it means it's going towards its left side. So that's it. Let me just adjust the time again. So you have to turn this on. The nav lights have to be on. And this is strobe. This is actually a white blinking light. Blinking, that was a good one. So it's set to auto. As soon as the plane takes off from the runway, it's on. And once it lands, it turns off. Otherwise, if you want to just turn it on, then you can do it. But not once the plane is parked or taxiing. And logo, you can turn it on or keep it at auto. And that's it. These are the lights for the taxi and for the landing. So I will just keep them like this right now. So everything is good now. So this is basically the FCU, and which is the flight control unit. I have adjusted the altitude over here. Now you can see that the flight director is on. If I turn off the flight director, you will see the speed is being shown over here and the heading. This plane actually has got two modes. One is the manage mode, another one is the selected mode. Right now, the plane is in the selected mode. So if I fly this plane on autopilot, if I turn on the autopilot after the takeoff, whatever the speed I will mention over here, like moving this knob or the heading, the plane will actually fly according to that heading and speed. But if you select the manage mode, in which you see the FCU like this, then in the flight plan, if I just go to the flight plan, you will see that there are speeds and altitudes mentioned over here, and plus the heading, obviously, the navigation. So the autopilot actually flies according to these constraints and everything. So that's why don't forget to turn on the flight director and keep the plane in the manage mode. Anyhow, this is a topic for the autopilot, but just to let you know right now. So make sure that the flight director is also on, and we have also configured the EFS, which is electronic flight instrument system. Now we have to disconnect the external power, as the plane is on the external power, and obviously you cannot fly with the GPU. So let's first of all turn on the APU. You cannot disconnect the external power right now, but it's set to auto. So right now the plane is getting power from the GPU, and once the APU is there, which is auxiliary power unit, and the plane will get the power from there. So this is the master switch for the APU. Just turn it on and turn on the APU, or start the APU, and that's it. Now you will see this information over here, which is the EGT is the exhaust gas temperature. This is the rotation, and once you have power from the APU, you will see APU available. This screen is known as the ECAM, which is Electronic Centralized Aircraft Monitor. And you get the alerts and the warnings over here, and plus the power from the engines and the rest of the things. During the flight, it will keep on changing. And plus you can also like scroll through different things like engine, door, wheel, fuel, and so on and so forth, flight control and stuff like this. So now you can see that the exhaust gas temperature is rising, which means that the APU will not be available. And now as I will be starting the pushback, so ground services are no longer required. I can disconnect the jetway. It's connected. No, it's disconnected. Yeah, it's already disconnected, but the door is open. Somebody can fall. So I can close the door. Just make sure that the doors are closed. You can, open and close the doors from here as well, like this. Now this door is closed. That's it. And the APU is now available. As you can see that it will say avail over here. Now this is the button for the APU bleed. This is actually a compressed air which is required to start the engine. So turn on the APU bleed, as you will be requiring this APU bleed to start the engines. And no need to turn off the external power. It's already cut off. Now you can see external is available, but you are getting the power from the APU. So I can disconnect the GPU, and now you can see that external has disappeared and you're getting power from the GPU. That's it. Let's remove the chocks for this plane. You cannot remove the chocks once you're outside the cockpit. You have to do it from here. Just only the covers and chocks you have to remove from this screen. That's it. And let's also disconnect the air conditioning. We don't need it. By the way, what's the temperature right now in the cabin and the cockpit? Let's check. Yeah, that's good. You can also set the temperature of the cockpit and the cabin from here. So let's say if you want to, adjust the temperature, you can move these knobs. Now you can see the temperature has dropped. It's really cold. So let's keep it in the center. Actually, in Riyadh, this thing, it's in the middle of the desert. It's like 45, 46 degrees, and it gets very hot. Okay. So everything is good now. And you have the APU available and everything is there. Just make sure that no light is on. All the buttons should be black, because this is the beauty of the Airbus planes. Only you can see fault on the generators for the engine, because engines are not running right now. But once the engines will be running, then this fault will also disappear. That's it. Now the plane has its own power and everything is now complete. I can remove the parking brake, and plus for the pushback, obviously the nose wheel will be disconnected, and I can just check this. Now let's release the parking brakes. And let's start the pushback. You can also get the airport navigation over here. This is known as the ANF in this plane, which is the airport navigation function. You can see the complete chart over here on this navigation display. It only works if you've got Navigraph subscription. So in the settings over here on the AFB, you can if you don't know how to do it, then you can go to this option menu and options, and then you can go to this third party, and then you will see a QR code over here. You can just scan it with your mobile or open it in browser, and then you can log into your Navigraph account. Then you will be able to see the airport chart over here for the taxi. So as the takeoff runway is there, as you can see, this is 3-3 right, so I will be turning in this side, right. That's it. Oh. That's it. Now I have set the parking brakes to off. So this is the ground, and the pushback feature is here, so you can just call for the tug and the pushback will start. I'm not using any third-party tool for the ground services or for the pushback. I think there is some issue with the Microsoft Flight Simulator. The moment pushback starts, it starts to turn towards the left. So I have to keep on pressing this so that the plane doesn't turn left. I don't know, since the beginning it's there. It's not getting fixed. So let's see where the tug is. Oh, it's getting connected. And the pushback has started. Although I have a GSX Pro for this simulator, but right now I'm not using it for this video, because I will be making a separate video in which I will show you how to carry out the ground services with this plane with the GSX Pro, because it has a compatibility with the EFB. So it's really awesome. I think this is a good pushback. I will be just right on this line. That was a good call. Yeah, that was good. Okay, so no, I think slightly off, but still, I made it. So let's stop the pushback and let's apply the parking brakes. And that's it. Now it's time to turn on the engines. So you can see the control over here, and this is the engine start switch. You have to move it to ignition. So you can just like move the mouse wheel for this, or left click once you see this right arrow. So just move it like this. That's it. And now you can start the engines. That's it. So I can just turn off this option, because you know the systems of this plane are very clever. They automatically start to show you different information over here on this screen, whatever the phase of the flight you're in right now. So it just keeps on switching. This is something really clever. Now there's another thing that I just want to show you. This plane has the heads-up display. In the latest few updates, iniBuilds have provided the heads-up display. So you can turn on the heads-up display from here. If you go to the options in the EFB, and if you go to this option equipment, you will see heads-up display. So I've turned it on, and you can just now lower the heads-up display. Click this lever and the heads-up display will be down. You can remove the covers. Yeah, I know I'm having this transponder error. I will just fix it right now. You can see this transponder error is there. This is what I'm going to show you right now. So you can also interact with this screen over here. You see this control over here. You can scroll, and plus you can also check it. That's it. So this is something I just wanted to show you. If you go over here, you will see this option surveillance, or SURV, serve. Now from here you can turn on the weather radar. You turn on the weather radar after the pushback, and plus you don't turn on the transponder once the plane is at the parking, because then you know the ATC's radars will get cluttered a lot. So you can just turn it on right now. You can see that the altitude reporting is also on, and this is TCAS, which is a traffic collision and avoidance system. This is set to TARA, which is traffic advisory and resolution advisory. That's it. So everything is now good. You can turn off the APU because it's no longer required. You have got the powers from the engine, and you can turn off the APU bleed, and this will show avail for some time available, and then it will disappear. Now oh, see, it disappeared. So now for the taxi, you can set this light to taxi, and you can turn on the wing lights. Now you can see that a fault has disappeared from these buttons generator for the engines, as now the engines are up and running, and you have the power from the engines. That's it. Now for the heads-up display, you can adjust the view. As now you can see it's not really good. So what you can do is this: you can use Shift D, A, W, and S to adjust the view. And if you just want to move upward and downwards, you can use Q and E, and just adjust the view, and that's it. So you have all the information over here. You have the speed, the altitude, plus you'll get the vertical speed over here. This is the flight mode annunciator, which is FMA, and plus you will also see the flight director, and plus your flight path vector, which will show you where to go. So this is good. Now you can see that the plane is up and running. Just move this switch back to normal. That's it. Now it's at normal. Now you can see that as I told you before, the plane knows what kind of state it is in, and now it knows that I'm ready for the takeoff. So for the takeoff, you know, you have to make the cabin ready for this flight, and ground spoilers armed. So if you go over here again, back to the checklist, and after the start checklist, so anti-ice is not required. Flight controls, let's do this check. So if you press this button, flight control, you will see the screen. Now if you push your stick forward, you can check the elevators over here. That's it. And left and right for ailerons, used for turning, and you can also check the rudder. It's working. That's it. So you have now carried out the flight control check, and just also make sure that your trim for the takeoff is set. Now you can see that required was 30.8, and takeoff for trimmable horizontal stabilizer, it's set to 30.8, and the parking brake is active. You get this indication over here as well. And ground clearance, as I'm not using ATC or anything, so you can just check it. That's it. And go back to checklist, and for the taxi, now you have to set the flaps. Now you can see flap settings, so set the flaps to position 1, as the required flaps for takeoff is 1 plus F. You can see it's set to 1 plus F. And just arm the ground spoilers in case of rejected takeoff. You need these ground spoilers. So, and let's turn on the radar. So over here on, you can select the constraints. You can see the speed and altitude constraints on the navigation display, and plus you can turn this button on for the traffic and for the weather. And maybe on this screen you can set terrain, so weather over here and terrain over there, although there are no clouds. But still, let's turn on the weather. It's really dry nowadays over here. And this is your auto brake in case of rejected takeoff, so just turn it on, and that's it. So radar is on, and after some time, once the cabin is ready, this will also turn green, and then I can press this button, takeoff config, to basically check this option. Now everything is good. Now you can see that over here the parking brake is on, and you have the traffic on, and plus the weather and predictive wind shear is on. Nothing else. So in case your APU, if APU is running, you will see this message over here, or if this switch is set to ignition, you will see this option over here. So just keep an eye over here on this eCam, and your flight will be a good flight. So now everything is configured for the flight. I can now taxi towards the runway and take this plane up in the air towards its destination. So I hope this was a useful video for you. I've just tried to keep it really simple, and this thing happens. If you zoom out a lot, this thing happens. I think this should be fixed. So now you will be able to start this plane from the cold and dark state, and it's a really simple and easy procedure. Once you know how to do it, you can do it like just in 4 or 5 minutes. It's just a matter of time, nothing else. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section, or if you want to add anything to this video, the comment section is there for you. Now I will be recording the second and the third part of this video, in which I will show you how to perform takeoff, how to fly this plane on autopilot, and how to perform an ILS approach and landing. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day. Hope to see you soon.